Hey folks, I want to tell you about the album that brought me into jazz, that really taught me what jazz was. I knew what jazz was as far as, oh, I hear this is jazz music. Oh, the bass player, this is jazz, and people are playing deen chicka deen chicka deen chicka chicka. I grew up studying piano and drums, Steely Dan, Rush, complicated music. But jazz was this other thing. It was like this other thing. It was from the Great Neck Public Library, and I got a bunch of records. And I got a Keith Jarrett Volume 1 album. Keith Jarrett Trio Volume 1. I think there's 5 tracks on it. I'm in my room in Great Neck, Long Island. I have this record and I put it on and it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. I hear a guy screaming, I hear piano, I hear bass, I hear drums, but it's just a bunch of noise, a bunch of instruments just playing together. Not noise, but kind of like I had zero reference. And I don't know how many of you have that right now. If you put on an album like that, like a Keith Jarrett Volume 1, do you have any reference to what's going on? And just be honest with me in the comments, because I'm really curious, because I had no reference. I was stoned. I was 17, last year of high school. God Bless a Child starts, and I hear piano, and I hear bass, and I hear drums. And I'm stoned, and I'm suddenly hearing 3 like zones, right? 3 zones. It's the piano, the bass, and the drums. And I'm realizing they're all having a conversation with each other. I understood harmony really well. I understood chords and modes and all that stuff, right? So I was hearing it though for the first time in this concept. You can know all these modes and you can know all these chords, but if there's no time, if you have no form, it just sounds like craziness. But on this tune, I suddenly heard the form. I heard this melody. At that point, I don't think I knew that God Bless a Child was an old song, but Keith Jarrett plays the melody. He plays the bridge. He plays it, and it's a melody. He does it his way, but I heard it. And then what I started to hear is in the solo, him playing off the melody. And then I heard the bass player doing it, and then the drummer took a solo. Unbelievable. My brain was exploded. And then I started going back and realizing that every single track on that album, there was a form, and there was a structure, and they were communicating with each other on this level that I've never heard before. I've never heard a drummer play over time that way. I didn't realize these songs were in 4/4 or 3/4. I had no idea. But once I put in that time signature in my head, right, which we call knowing where the 1 is, once I did that, I couldn't believe it. And once I understood the chord changes, once you know the song and someone solos over that and you know the song, it makes sense. And then you hear how they start reharmonizing stuff and moving stuff out of the chord change and going back into it, and you understand that they're having a conversation. And my mind was literally changed forever. So I think a lot of people that hear that kind of music, their ears are not attuned to it. And I guess maybe it does require a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of technical knowledge to know where the 1 is when it gets really, really out there. If they're not playing the 1 and they're playing around the 1, it becomes very challenging for people to hear that. I just wanted to share with you the first time that it all made sense to me. I'll link the Keith Jarrett God Bless a Child song, the trio song, below. I love you guys. If you got this far, wow, I appreciate you. Thanks for listening to my story. Consider coming by again and subscribing. Bye-bye.